Hello, I'm Cathy Kelly. My new novel, Between Sisters, is coming out in the autumn and I'm going to read you a little bit. Dark hair plastered to her head like rain, Cassie Keneally stood in the weary queue in Starbucks at 8:05 and half listened to the conversation going on around her. "The kids won't get up for school. Do you think it's easy for me?" I asked them, demanded a 40-something woman laden down with a laptop bag, handbag and light raincoat for the unseasonable downpour outside. "They won't go to bed on time," agreed her friend. Cassie, mother of two, and carrying just as much equipment in the way of laptop, overstuffed handbag and rain gear as the two women, understood their pain. Her daughters Lily and Beth, 13 and 15 respectively, seemed to think it was her fault they had to get up for school in the morning. "It's inhuman. Teenagers have rights too," Beth had taken to saying when 6:45 rolled around each morning, and Cassie woke the household up. Cassie wondered if she could go into the school Amnesty International group, which Beth had just joined, and explain that they were supposed to be explaining to the kids in class about basic human rights, and this didn't include moaning about their own first world problems. "I'm so tired," Lily, 13, said every day. "Can I have 5 more minutes, please?" "I don't want to get up either," Cassie wanted to say when she was poleaxed with exhaustion. "But we have to. You need to go to school or I'll go to jail for keeping you out, and I need to earn money. Simples?" She hadn't said it so far. She knew she'd sound unhinged if she did. Unhinged was bad parenting, apparently, or so it said in the women's magazines she occasionally had the energy to skim through at night in bed. Asking "what did your last slave die of" didn't work either, nor did dire threats to remove electronic equipment for weeks. The only possible power she had left was turning off the Wi-Fi, and she quite liked Facebook in the evenings herself. She pondered this as she stood in the queue. Was it the girls' ages that made her feel so stressed lately? Yes, that was it. Being a parent of modern teenage daughters was the equivalent of running the NSA or Goldman Sachs. No matter what you did, you were always in trouble. Nobody apologised for yelling at you, nobody hugged you, and nobody ever said thanks. The years of being fabulous mommy had morphed into slamming doors to a chorus of "You're horrible and I hate you." It broke Cassie's heart. She tried so hard to make her family into all the things she'd missed as a child. The perfect nuclear family with a cat, home-cooked food, camping holidays. Cassie doing her best to help with homework even though she worked full-time. And it had worked until about 2 years ago when her daughters had hit Hormone City one after the other, and suddenly they weren't a nuclear family but a nuclear one. Making scones or healthy oatmeal cookies on Sundays for the girls' lunches at school didn't cut any ice when someone was sulking up a storm over not being allowed to go to a party. Saturday night was no longer a cosy movie and takeaway family night because the girls spent the whole evening ignoring the movie and texting, despite dire warnings about phone confiscation. Now Beth could officially watch 15's movies. She wanted to watch 18's ones. "Just because I'm not a kid anymore doesn't mean I have to watch kids' movies," she'd say, in outrage at the sign of any sort of family movie. Beth now mooched around the house wearing low-slung pyjama-type track pants with her slim teenage belly visible, and had made hints about getting a belly ring, comments which made her father go green and made Cassie say "over my dead body" in the manner of a Victorian parent. She wore coal black eyeliner, sky blue nail varnish, and had posters of young male singers with six-packs blue-tacked to her walls. Lily, once a sweet little poppet, prone to hugs and drawing fairies, had thrown out all her fluffy, fairy-style tutu skirts and insisted on jeans so skinny her mother worried about Lily's circulation. Her once-beloved Lala Loopsy dolls were in a box under the bed, and Lily kept rushing into her big sister's room to watch things on YouTube. More reason to ban Wi-Fi for the next 10 years. Any comment on either sister's clothes was followed by the refrain, "But everyone's wearing these, Mom, now." And being infatuated with her cool older sister, she now wanted to paint her nails blue and had begun shrugging off any type of hug. The only thing Beth tried to hug was the family cat, Fluffykins, who was not touchy-feely and protested loudly at being picked up and dragged out of rooms after rows. Cassie thought the cat might go deaf, what with all the slamming of doors he was exposed to. "It's a phase. The girls will grow out of it," Grammy Pearl said whenever they discussed it. "You did." Please tell me I wasn't that bad or hormonally difficult, Cassie begged her grandmother. The times were different and you were different, Grammy said diplomatically. You had a lot of hard things to deal with, Cassie. Teenagers need to fight with their mothers and you didn't have one. You only had me. I'm not easy to argue with. Having your great-aunt Edie as a sister had taught me how to avoid arguments because Edie could start one in an empty room. Grammy Pearl mentioning Cassie's lack of a mother was the closest grandmother and granddaughter ever came to discussing the great pain of the Keneally family, how Cassie and her younger sister, Coco's mother, had left them when Cassie was 7 years old and Coco had just turned 1. The pain had slowly killed their father, destroyed by grief. There'd been happiness and love too, Pearl had made sure of that. But their family had never been the sort of normal family Cassie used to dream about. That had made her determined to create the perfect family with Shay and her daughters, to make up for the one she'd never quite had. Except lately it had all fallen apart. One day they'll come round and they'll be hugging you, saying you're the best mum ever, Grammy Pearl had said. Mark my words, it'll happen. Any date in mind for this miraculous event? Cassie asked, laughing without mirth. I want to mark it off in my diary and then see if I can get tranquilizers to keep me going until it happens.